Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing to you trigonometric equations. These equations are mathematical equations involving trigonometric functions. Let's start the discussion this way. Sine 30 degrees is equal to 1/2, and sine 150 degrees is also equal to 1/2. The values are the same even if the angles are not. The illustration will explain the scenario. Remember that the sine function is computed by dividing the value of y and r. So that means the value of the sine function is dependent on the values of y and r. In this illustration here, let's just say this reference angle is 30 degrees. Okay, so we have this 30 degrees here as the reference angle, and I actually have this reference angle as well here in the second quadrant, and let's just assume this is also 30 degrees. So if the reference angle in the second quadrant is 30 degrees, then the angle in standard position is actually 150 degrees. Now notice that the value of the sine function will be the same in the first quadrant and the second quadrant if the reference angles are the same. It's because in this scenario here of the point in the first quadrant, the value of the y coordinate is here. Okay? And in the second quadrant, if this is the point, there comes a point in the circle where the 2 points in the first quadrant and the second quadrants will be aligned, and that means the value of the y coordinate will be equal. Okay, and so again, let me repeat, the sine function depends on the values of y and r, and so since the values of y here in the first quadrant and second quadrants are equal, if the reference angles are equal, then obviously the sine functions will generate the same value. Okay? So this only happens if the reference angles are the same. So of course r is always positive, it can never be negative, and r will be the same regardless of the position of the terminal side. So obviously, since y and r are the same in the first quadrant and the second quadrant in this illustration, then the sine function will be equal as well. So this is not only happening in the first quadrant and the second quadrant, but also in the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant for the sine function. This time, if in the first and second quadrants the value of the sine function is positive, here we have the value of the sine function as negative. It's because notice that the value of y will be negative here. In terms of the side of the triangle, y is positive, of course, because we treated the value as the side of the triangle. So we will apply the absolute value concept. But if we take the y coordinate, which is our basis in getting the value of the sine function, then obviously the value of the y coordinate is negative. That's why we have a negative y in this case. Okay, in this illustration, the value of y will be negative, and so it will generate a negative value of the sine function. It can also be verified using the ASTC concept in our previous discussions, that the sine function is only positive in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. Okay, because TC in the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant, tangent is only positive here, cosine is the only positive here in the fourth quadrant. So obviously the sine functions are negative in both quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Now, we have this example. Find all solutions of the function sine x equated to 2/5. Okay, so our goal is to find the value of x that will satisfy the equation. So what do? Actually, we will think of this illustration. Since the value of the sine function is positive, so the possibilities will be in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. So of course, third quadrant and the fourth quadrant possibilities will be eliminated since the value of the sine function here is positive. Okay? In your calculator, you may encode the inverse trigonometric function, the inverse sine of 2/5. Okay? This is how we solve the angle. So we have the inverse of the sine function 2/5, and it will generate the value approximately 0.41. Now, no matter what you do in your calculator, it will only give you one value. Okay? So you will use the concept to get the other value or values. Now, since we know that there are two possible answers, then we will consider the second answer, and this time we will get x sub 2 equals pi minus 0.41. Anyway, we are using radian measurements here. It's because the functions will be dependent on the rectangular coordinate system. Let's just say the graph of the function, well, last time we have discussed this one, that in the rectangular coordinate system, the x-axis will be, or the angles of the function will be converted into radian measurements, since the x-axis is a linear measurement. Okay, and since this is a linear measurement, we cannot use a degree measurement. That's why in getting the x values here, I always consider, or we will always consider, the radian measurement of the angle. So this is 0.41 in quadrant 1. If you will convert this into a degree measurement, this is actually an acute angle. So obviously, this is representing this illustration here in quadrant 1. Now for the second quadrant, we have to find the angle in standard position using the reference angle, because obviously this 0.41 is the reference angle, and so this is equivalent to this angle here in quadrant 2. And then we do not need actually this one, we need the angle in standard position. So which means we have to take pi minus 0.41. Pi is actually equivalent to 180 degrees in degree measurement. So this is 180 minus the reference angle. Or in short, you have pi minus 0.41, or that will give you around 2.73 radians. Okay, so this is the angle in the illustration. So those are the values of x sub 1 and x sub 2 in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. But remember, there is no restriction in this problem, which means we will consider all coterminal angles of x sub 1 and x sub 2. So in short, we can consider one revolution after. So if this angle here, the first value is 0.41, after one full revolution, that's 2 pi or 360 degrees. So 0.41 plus 2 pi is also a solution. 2.73 plus 2 pi is also a solution. Okay? 0.41 plus 4 pi, which is after 2 revolutions, is also a solution. And so we have so many solutions, or we just say there will be infinitely many solutions. Because again, there's no restrictions. But if we will place some conditions like this one, okay, which will happen in most cases in our course, let's say find all solutions at the closed interval 0 to pi over 2. So this is only limited in the first quadrant, considering counterclockwise revolution. Okay, because the angles are positive, so that means from 0 until the first quadrant. This is pi over 2 until 90 degrees. Half of 180, half of pi. Okay, so we will consider the values in quadrant 1, or the solution only in quadrant 1. So that is only what? Approximately 0.41. Okay, so the first answer here in x sub 1. Now, in some cases, we have also find all solutions from 0 to 2 pi. I mean pi. So that means that is considering the values in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. So again, we will still consider the value in quadrant 1. So that means x sub 1 is 0.41. Okay. Now for the second value, of course, we will also consider 2.73, since this terminal side will already be considered. Okay, this will be considered already, since the interval is extended from 0 until pi instead of this pi over 2 in the first example. So another situation would be this one. Find all solutions at the closed interval 0 to 3 pi over 2. So that means we are extending until quadrant 3, until here, because this is 3 pi over 2. That's 270 degrees in degree measurement. So by then, since there's no solution in the third quadrant, we can then say the same answers. So x sub 1 is approximately 0.41 and 2.73. If we extend until one full revolution, so that's 0 until 2 pi, okay, so 0 until 2 pi, so that should be what? Same. X sub 1 equals 0.41 and x sub 2 is approximately 2.73. If we have the reverse, then we have find all solutions at negative pi over 2 to 0. Okay, so this time, negative pi over 2 to 0, that means negative pi over 2 is here. Okay, negative pi over 2 moving 0. So that means in the fourth quadrant. And since there's no solution in the fourth quadrant, we can just say none or no solution. Okay, so again, it starts in negative pi over 2. So we will start here until 0. So there's no solution in quadrant 4, so no solution. Find all solutions is in negative pi to 0. So that means negative pi in here and then to 0. So this part in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, so there's no solution. And so we'll say none. Negative 3 pi over 2 to 0. So negative 3 pi over 2 is here. Negative 3 pi over 2. So actually this is negative 3 pi over 2, right? And then going to 0 here. So negative 3 pi over 2 and then to 0. There's one solution. And this is this one. So how do we get it? Of course, again, the value must fall. Okay? The value must fall in between negative 3 pi over 2 and 0. So we cannot take a positive value. So this is actually negative here, right? Negative 3 pi over 2 to 0. All the values will be negative. So how do we do it? All we have to do is to consider this is negative pi. Okay? This is negative pi from the right side of the x-axis going to this left side of the x-axis is a straight angle, that's negative pi, plus, okay, plus a negative reference angle. Okay, so negative angle here, which is negative 0.41. So that means you have x sub 1 equals negative pi plus negative 0.41. So again, that is negative pi plus negative 0.41. Why am I counting negative? It's because I am now rotating here a clockwise revolution. So that's negative pi and then negative 41. So I'm adding them. That means I have approximately negative 3.55. And I tell you, this value negative 3.55 is in between this interval. Okay? Then, from negative 2 pi to 0. So that means one full revolution in clockwise rotation. Or actually, if you may illustrate this interval, that means from negative 2 pi here to 0, okay, going back. But again, we will consider all negative values. So in short, if we will try to consider it, all values here of all terminal sides will be considered. So that means we have the value the same, approximately negative 3.55, and we will get this value here considering clockwise revolution. So clockwise revolution going to this terminal side will be what? That's negative 2 pi plus 0.41. So that means negative 2 pi minus the reference angle. Okay? So minus the reference angle, but then, actually, sorry, not negative 2 pi minus the reference angle, but plus 0.41. Because it's like rotating clockwise, negative, and then going counterclockwise will be positive. So it's like negative 2 pi and then plus 0.41. So it's like we are moving a counterclockwise 0.41. So negative 2 pi, one full revolution. Oops. Okay. We actually exceeded in the position of the terminal side. So we have to go back plus 0.41. So that should be approximately negative 5.87. If you want to know that your answers are correct, or if you want to check, then all you have to do is to substitute the value of x. So what I mean is this one. You can substitute 0.41 to x here. So that means you will have sine of 0.41. And expect that the value will be approximately 2 over 5. Why approximate? It's because the value of x is being approximated. So we cannot expect an exact value 2 over 5. So maybe that will be around 0.401 or maybe 0.399. So 0.399, 0.401 is close to 0.4. 0.4 is 2 over 5. Okay. So you can also check. You can substitute negative 3.55 in your function. So that means you have sine of negative 3.55. It will give you an approximate value 2 over 5. Okay, what's next? What if we are to find all solutions of sine x equals negative 4 over 7? Now guys, the value of the sine function is negative, and so we are thinking of this illustration. So this is a position of the terminal side in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay? Now if you will use the inverse trigonometric function concept, key in your calculator, then you will get approximately negative 0.61. So this is actually the angle. Okay, this orange angle here. Because that's negative, so that means clockwise rotation. Now, to get the other value, then you have to consider negative pi plus 0.61. So negative pi, so that means negative 180 degrees here until here. And then we have to go back counterclockwise, so that's a plus. So negative pi plus 0.61. Okay, so that's approximately negative 2.53. So here. So those are the two values in the first revolution. But then again, guys, since there's no restriction, then we will consider all coterminal angles of x sub 1 and x sub 2. Some conditions will apply, again, which will usually happen in our course. So we will be giving you some intervals only. So we have to find all solutions at the closed interval from 0 to pi over 2. 0 to pi over 2. That means from 0 to positive angle pi over 2. So that means there's no solution here. Okay, because there's no terminal side in the first quadrant. So no solution or none. And then all solutions from 0 until pi. So again, same way. That's none. And all solutions from 0 until 3 pi over 2. So that extends until the third quadrant. So we have one solution already. So to find the value of the angle in standard position, that must be what? Pi plus 0.61. So that means from 0, it should be pi plus 0.61, which is the reference angle. Okay. So of course, this is negative 0.61 here, negative 0.61 here, considering the revolution which is clockwise. But if we take the revolution, or if we take the idea of the reference angle, it's always positive. Okay, so it becomes negative. It becomes just negative here because of the idea that the revolution is clockwise. But if we take the measurement of the angle, it's really 0.61. It means the positive value. But it's approximately 3.75 this time. Then find all solutions at 0 or the closed interval at 0 to 2 pi. So that means one full revolution. So we have to consider this terminal side and also this terminal side. So first value will be the same, approximately 3.75. The second value will be what? It's 2 pi minus 0.61. So that is one full revolution. Oops, we actually exceeded to the terminal side, to the position of the terminal side. So that means we have to go back 0.61. Okay, so going back is a clockwise, so that means minus. So you have minus 0.61, but this should be approximately 5.67. Another situation will be at the interval negative pi over 2 to 0. So negative pi over 2 is somewhere here, negative pi over 2 to 0. So there's one terminal side. Okay. This time, we have to consider x sub 1 as negative 0.61. Okay, negative 0.61. So negative pi over 2, the interval, all the values from negative pi over 2 to 0. So that is the angle negative 0.61 since we are to take the clockwise revolution. Okay, so negative 0.61. Negative pi to 0, so the values from negative pi until 0. Okay, so that's again clockwise revolution to get the value. So that should be negative pi plus 0.61. Okay, so you have two values. The second value will be approximately negative 2.53. So of course, if we say negative pi to 0, then it will actually consider this terminal side and also this terminal side. Okay, so this terminal side is actually, we already have here negative 0.61 approximately. The other one will be negative pi plus 0.61. Then if we extend until here, negative 3 pi over 2, then that's actually of no difference in the previous. It's because there's no terminal side in the second quadrant. The same answers. And also if we extend until negative 2 pi. Okay. So the same way, there will be no difference. So that's it for this function.